All right, you guys, we are back for another podcast. I have a new guest on today by the name of Montina. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, Montina Young.
Okay, so I actually have been getting a whole lot of requests about government contracts. Okay, so this is not a field that I am all the way specialized in because I haven't won a government contract before. So I stumbled across this young lady's YouTube page and I said, okay, she would be perfect for the show. Okay, so you want to tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do. Let's just start off with that. Who are you and what do you do?
So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come along. I love talking about credit, capital certifications, and contracts because my company has been awarded several contracts in the government space and also in the Fortune 500, 110 space. My name is Montina Young. Some of you all will see Portis online, but I dropped Portis. And my company is CIE Media Group, and we help companies rethink business for the digital age. We do that through digital marketing, digital strategy, video production, and media communications. I've been in business since 2013 and full-time since 2014. I walked away from the largest IT financial company in the country. So this was not me getting fired or me getting laid off. I literally took the leap of faith to start this business. And I'll tell you something, I'm a certified business continuity professional, and I was writing pandemic plans back in 2009. So this is crazy that at the time of this recording, we're going through a pandemic and we're all wearing masks. So what happened was around 2014, I heard about certifications. Everyone's like, you should get certified. So I did. And I wasted a lot of time, money, and resources getting woman-owned certified because I did not know or understand how to leverage the certification. So I'd go to these educational meetings. I'm talking to these women and no one wanted to help me. I don't care if their business was a startup or if they were at 100 million. And you'll find in a lot of these spaces, there are companies that I know people in one of my certification councils at 250 million in revenue. But the challenge is when you go to ask for assistance, when you're at these events, they're doing their best to get in front of supplier professionals, supplier diversity professionals, which we'll talk about in this interview. They don't have time to help you. So I was literally lost. I dropped that certification and just ran my business for 5 years. My company in the marketing space only worked with lawyers. We were very, very niche. They say the riches are in the niches. And we only worked in the legal industry. There are 200 plus practice areas. And practice areas are like personal injury, or you see a divorce attorney. There's 200 plus. So these lawyers, they stay busy. I honed it down to 10. And that's it. We only accepted those 10 practice areas. And then from the 10, we didn't accept the ones that you see in the billboards, the personal injury attorney. So we were very, very exclusive. And that's what we did. So for 5 years, I was able to build revenue. I was able to actually build a recurring revenue model on my business. I didn't have to chase dollars all the time. I always, at first started out, what you kill is what you eat. But eventually it goes back to what you plant is what you harvest. I keep plants, as you see here in my office, because it reminds me that every seed I plant, it could take 5 years to harvest. But when you get a harvest, you get a harvest. So an orchard takes 20 years. But guess what? You don't have one apple tree. You got thousands of apples. So But what I found was with the course of just getting these certifications, I wasn't getting any business. And so I had to get certified to be a vendor at an event for the National Association of Minority and Women-Owned Law Firms, NAMWF. Well, that's when the doors opened because I had revenue that was recurring. And I could run. And I quickly found out now I had the time to learn how to leverage these certifications myself. So that's when we actually were the Class 1 Supplier of the Year for the Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council, which is part of a larger organization, the National Minority Supplier Development Council, which is the largest minority business enterprise in the world. There's a lot of terms I'm going to use here, so I promise you I'll break them down for you. There's a lot of acronyms.
Okay.
And from there, doors open, but they opened because I had revenue, I could run, and I had the professionalism. I had the etiquette from coming out of corporate America. I knew how to communicate, and people do business with people they know, like, and trust. I know I kind of went all around with a longer answer, but that's who I am. And then saying that with the marketing company, I was actually able to expand into more consulting in the federal government, really state government space with a federal contract, because when smaller companies would come to work with us, once I expanded out of the legal industry, I started to find that every company has a marketing problem. If you are watching this today and you do listening in, you do not have the business coming in like you want, you have a marketing problem. All businesses do. That's why you see the big businesses, Capital One, Chick-fil-A, Progressive, Geico, all of these companies, which need to be sponsoring your channel because I said their names. They have marketing problems, which is why they invest in marketing, but they don't have systems problems. They don't have processing problems, right? They don't have standardization problems. So small businesses do. So even after you market, there are two reasons a small business can fail: too much business or too little business. And now you got all this marketing going, but you don't know how to send emails. You don't have systems. You don't have great customer service. So I started to realize that, oh my goodness, we're doing a disservice. So I created courses and content based on educational opportunities. And that brings me full circle back into my marketing company that now has expanded into consulting services. And we do a lot of interviews like this where I say I do a lot of workshops. At the time of this recording, I'm actually doing a workshop tonight on the 10 certifications that can help you win more business. Because again, this isn't a government contract conversation. This is not a certification conversation. This is a right decision conversation. And again, I'm happy to be here with you today to discuss this.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. I mean, she just dropped a few jewels in there if you guys were paying attention, okay? Well, one of the main questions that I get a lot is what are the steps? What are the steps that you take to actually getting that contract? Like,
Okay. So the easy thing that people teach you is you just go get registered in SAM, or you go to FedBiz Ops or Fed.gov, and you can self-certify. Okay, I have over a dozen certifications, and you can vouch for me because you've seen my email. You can search me online. There's no easy way to this, and there's no secret to success, but there's a blueprint. So I will say this first: are you ready for a government contract? There are two things that I didn't know when I started my business, or even kind of started in the space. And that is, there are non-traditional businesses and traditional businesses. If I could go all the way back almost 10 years, I would not have started a non-traditional business, meaning marketing. I would have done what you did. Your podcast host who here teaches courses, and you need to listen to her. Start a cleaning company, a roofing company, go get you a painting company, a carpet cleaning company. Get something where the government is actually procuring or purchasing your service, right? Well, I sell paper and pencils, so do Staples. And guess what? They are bidding on these contracts. One day I walked into a room for, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And I thought, am I in the right place? Because it was supposed to be a orientation for how to get state contracts. The entire room was full of people from AutoZone. And I thought, I cannot be in the right place. They were bidding on a contract. So we as small businesses, and a small business as defined by the United States Small Business Administration is under 30 million, under 500 employees. So you're not just bidding, they're bidding too. So the first thing again is, are you ready? Can you hold 100,000 in billable, where you're not getting paid for net 30 or net 60. So those are things to think about. And is the government procuring what you need? So yes, you can get registered in SAM, but I personally like to go after the low hanging fruit. I like state, I like local, I like county contracts. So wherever you are, Google your county and put in government purchasing or procurement. They are purchasing goods and services from small businesses. Cleaning, painting, janitorial, roofing, electric. You know, they have state contracts to go and hang up TVs. I see them all the time. They literally hang up TVs. My partner was like, he's like, I could do that all day. I'm like, yes, you could. And it could be $50,000. 3 $50,000 contracts puts you, let me tell you, 5 $50,000 contracts put you in the top 6% of all business owners, because only 6% make $250 or more a year. And especially for my Black business owners and my women-owned Black business owners, let me tell you something. About 89% of businesses started now are started by Black women. Everyone's like, oh my God, yes, yes, yes. No, because we are not making money in business. Okay. So about 90% of Black women in business make about $27,000 a year, which I pay employees more than that. It is time to change the narrative. So I know you're asking me, well, how do we just get a government contract? It's not that easy, but I will tell you, starting off, I definitely want you to invest in the free certifications that are available in your county, your city, your state.
Right.
Once you get those, you get on what's called a letting, okay? Or you have access to the opportunities, you have access to educational opportunities, you have access to the contracting officers, and they pick up the phone and ask them if you can do what's called a capability briefing, or really it's the simplified way is, I want to tell you about my business, but the term is capability briefing. But once you get on those, they want to work with businesses that are certified. It's not easy. That's why I said this is not easy, none of it. But once you're certified, you open the doors for them to have conversations with you, because many times they have to meet their goals. Disadvantaged business enterprise goals, minority business enterprise goals, small business enterprise goals, African-American business enterprise goals. Now, everyone doesn't agree with me with certifications. The reason why I lead with get the certification is because many of you don't have legitimate businesses. And you're going to get in trouble because you're not filing your taxes, you're not carrying your payroll, you're not doing things the right way. So I want to see you with a legitimate business so that you can get the opportunities. But the easy way, is to, again, go with your state or your local, looking at Google search. I'm going to use Fulton County. I would look Fulton County contract opportunities or procurement registry. And you can have, and again, this is why this is a long conversation. You have to have, you need to know your NACS code.
Yeah, I know. It's a long process. Believe me, I know.
Right. But again, not to discourage
I've been through the process.
Yes,
but,
not to discourage anyone. Again, understand it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. And there are so many opportunities out here. I mean, literally, Facebook and Google they have a goal to spend $1 billion with small Black businesses specifically. Okay. The other thing is when we say government contract, you're cutting it off of government, but you also have your Fortune 500, 110, which I have to come back and talk about another day. So simplified approach, do the low hanging fruit, state, city, local, and then put the county in, and then get the certification. It's free. You don't even have to pay anyone to do it for you. I don't even charge to do that.
What would they go at to get the certification?
You're going to look for, again, your county name, and you look for like maybe a small business certification or a minority certification or
any certification, or just apply for them all.
Don't apply for them all. I'm teaching a class on that today because you're going to waste a lot of time, energy, and efforts. Once you get one, like for me, I'm kind of that type A personality. It's like, I'll just get all of them. Well, I have them all, but I don't need them. So I don't want to see you waste your time if you don't need them. And again, some of you will get discouraged because you'll say, I'm not getting any contracts. If you're a non-traditional business, there might not be any opportunities for you. I don't care what everyone says. The government buys everything. Yeah, but you're competing on such a large scale that it may not be advantageous for you to bid if you're a non-traditional. Like right now, with my company, we have an opportunity that is presenting itself for a franchise with literally could put us in 1,000 locations. We can't take that business. I have to. Someone might say, well, why won't you expand? Because I don't want to. I like my freedom of time. I like to spend time with the ones that I love. So for me, it doesn't make sense to expand my business that way. So again, I want to just get back to the government contracting. What do you do? Again, recognize if you want local, city, state, or federal. Federal's super easy. SAM.gov. There's a lot out right now how to do it. State, same thing. Get registered in these systems. But my recommendation is to get certified because those are the businesses that they look at first.
Awesome. Awesome. So I hope you guys were paying attention. Make sure you are ready, okay? Because, I mean, the government, what if you want to account and like you didn't get paid until the next 60 days? You have to be prepared for that. You know, you have to have all of that capital in your bank account to pay your employees and stuff like that. So these are pointers that you guys really, really, really have to think about before you jump out there into the government contract world, because like she said, it is not easy. So give us pros and cons. You know, what are some things that you would say is definitely don't do? The definite no-nos that you see.
Let me see the pros and the cons. Now, again, there are ways, like if you need materials, you know, and I see this taught online, you can do net 30s, you can get business credit. There are all sorts of things. That's why it's important to understand your business. I don't want to be a government consultant. I don't want to sell TVs to the government. I'm not willing to take that type of risk that someone does it wrong and I, you know, end up on TV, you know, embarrassed or behind federal prison, you know, locked up. So some of the pros, I mean, definitely it's one of those things for generational wealth. They are going to, well, and then they can cancel contracts. So again, I don't want to be this person's like the doom and gloom. So some of the pros are, you're going to get some money, you're going to be able to scale your business and you'll go further faster, especially if you can get a contract. Like if you're an 8A, like I said, $100,000 is going to be transformational for many businesses. $100,000 is a lot of money. And imagine, I have someone I spoke with recently that started a business literally in 2020, and now in 2021 has made 300,000 in 2 months. And they are so overwhelmed. Like they're like, I didn't believe, I didn't even know this could happen. So,
Wow.
And then that's the pros. I mean, you're going to make money. And also pros are typically the government likes to work with who they like to work with. So one opportunity can turn into dozens and dozens and dozens of opportunities. And it's excellent past performance, because it's often believed that if you work with the government, that then other government entities want to work with you. There's great ways, pros of amendments on contracts, extensions on contracts, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, IDIQs, which are phenomenal. So you might have a contract for 10 years. So gives you an opportunity to hire employees and scale your business. So those are the pros. And cons, it's business. So I don't want to, again, be negative. I hate to, if your name's Nancy, I apologize. But it's business, and I'm not one out here that talks about business being easy, because it's not. I don't sugarcoat it. It's difficult. And I'm also—
What are some of the mistakes you see people make all the time?
Well, the mistakes are, again, they're not ready. They're not being honest with themselves. People don't want to do business with you and you have Gmail, Yahoo, and Hotmail. I tell people that all the time. Very seldom do I respond to emails that are Gmail, Yahoo, and Hotmail from people in business. The other things that I see are, again, from a marketing standpoint, you get the business, you get things going, and you say yes to things that you can't do. You're saying yes to things that you're like, okay, well, I'll get 100%. I'll say yes, but I'll farm out 95%. I only make 5%. It's not worth your time. For many people, it really, there's honor in having a job, because you have health and benefits, you have 401k. So having a business is a large responsibility when you have more employees. But again, just simple mistakes is you want to market, but you want to be ready. You want to have systems, you want to have processes. You really want to think through this and understand you need mentors. You need coaches, you need consultants, not just for your business, but for your life. Most people, don't understand. Like for me, I've gone through the Small Business Development Center. I have a financial consultant I meet with each month. I'm in entrepreneur academies and schools. I've done Tuck School of Business. I've done Google, their class for, I think it was social strategy, digital excellence. And I also have a life coach. And I have a therapist, and I have a relationship coach. I mean, these are all things that early on in business, when we talk about mistakes that I made, and I'm a twice divorcee, but I see now why. Like, I talk to especially women all the time that are running hard. Entrepreneurship can be very difficult. I'm a very feminine woman, and you are playing in a masculine space. And so you need to make sure that you understand how to disconnect that cord when you get home. And you don't have to be a masculine woman. I'm a very feminine woman in every space I walk into, but I also understand that I have to be a little more assertive, and I have to make sure that my energy is harmonious with the other relationships I have outside of this. So mistakes, people are focusing so much on the business that they're losing touch with reality in relationships.
Oh gosh, that's me. Oh my God. You could be my mentor.
A lot of women, and I say, they're like, I'm too busy. I'm running hard, and this man wants me to slow down. And I'm like, whoa. The natural progression is typically that's what women do, their wives and their mother. So recognize where you're at in your journey. Me, I don't want to die alone. I have an amazing relationship. And it's like heaven on earth, but I shut down. Actually, remember I told you, I said, I don't work after 6. I shut down.
Yeah, I noticed that about you.
I don't work weekends, and on Fridays, I'm off by a certain time, 3 p.m. And now it's 1.5 days, because I recognize that I don't really recognize where you want mistakes you make. What are you building your business for? Do your kids want it? I have adult children. They don't want this business. I have one that's an entrepreneur, and she does. She's like, I don't want your business. So I had to recognize.
Yeah, my daughter doesn't want it.
What's this look like? What am I working for? So give yourself an exit plan, build an exit strategy. I want to do this forever. Do you really? So and then pick your number. I used to want $100 million business, and I said, well, about 10 million. I've done over $1 million in revenue. So we're good. We've done $1 million in sales. So now I'm just kind of like, what do I want to do in life? So
Mhm.
again, I want you to understand there are definite pros, and I'm going to definitely give you the steps, mistakes, but relationships are important. I don't think that there's enough talk about relationships and how it relates to your business and where you're at in your business. You don't have to
Right.
work 15 and
Right.
16-hour days, especially if you really don't want a $100 million business. Because if you look at the people that have the $100 million businesses, they are divorced. Yeah, they are.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
you might be single. If
goodness.
you're okay dying single, that's good. I'm just not.
Yeah, yeah. See, you answered a whole lot of questions for me because I was going to say, how do you balance it all, girl?
I
You
don't.
know,
My relationship is far more important to me than my work. And I'll tell you, I have rescinded a lot of proposals this year, and last. And at the time of this recording, my son's basketball team is going into the Final Four for our state of Georgia. So the day before this recording, I was off. And my team handled everything. Tomorrow, actually, the date of this recording, I don't want to come out, but in March, my son has a birthday, and my team is going to travel to Alabama. I'm not going. And I had to let go of a lot in my business and say,
right.
if I'm paying people to do things, I need to let them do the things that I'm paying them to do. And if they're not
Yeah.
doing the things I'm paying them to do and I'm doing them, then I don't need them.
Got it. Got it. So you had to wait till you got to a certain amount, like when you were making a lot of revenue in order to kind of just be on some chill stuff. You know what I mean? Like what about when you were in your grind stage? Like when you just started out working some long hours, right? You know what I mean? And that's kind of like how I am. I'm working those long shifts or whatnot. But I guess I can do that because I don't really have the whole relationship thing. I'm just like on grind time all the time. But I can't wait till I get to a space where you're at now. So to where I can say, hey, I'm just gonna just let them handle it and go live this thing called life. You know what I mean?
We have to create.
Well, I appreciate you so much
Well, let me
for
tell you.
being on for stopping your day for me. Yep.
Well, I was going to tell you, we have to create our spaces. And I did grind. I was divorced. I've been divorced about 4 years at the time of this recording. And I did. I worked really hard to focus on, again, me, my life, my children. I have a 32-year-old son-in-law. Some people I look a lot younger than what I am. And, I'm going to be a me. So I'm hoping that's going to be sometime soon. But I had to recognize what was important for me. And again, I have a son that's going to be out of the home in 2 years, and I didn't want to die alone. I recognize that I want a relationship. I'm a whole, complete, nothing missing, nothing broken woman. I'm successful in business, but that's not what I want on my tombstone. Okay. That's not what I want read at my obituary, that she was just successful in business. So you have to kind of think about your love letter to yourself about your life. So in that grind stage, I would say, especially I see a lot of husbands and wives are partners starting businesses. Again, a great book I love to read is Built to Sell. It's on audio. What are you going to do with this business? What's your exit strategy? When I built this company, I built it with an exit strategy. So I already know what the exit looks like for me. I already know what the number looks like for me. I already know what I'm going to do. For those of you that are young in business, you're grinding, you're hustling. If you're not making money, be honorable and go get a job. I will tell you that. Be honorable to your family. They deserve to eat. And I see this too often. People are like, this is my hustle, this is my hustle. You're not making money, go get a job. Let your part. I always said my full-time job, my job funded my dreams for years. So when I went and took the leap of faith, I already had money to pay for at least a year. And we did 6 figures our first 6 months. Okay. So we were already building revenue, but in that grind stage, have a very clear strategy. Who is it that you want to work with? Have you identified your ideal clients? Have you identified where they are online? Are they on YouTube? I'll tell you, LinkedIn is for leaders. It's the professionals' playground. Are they on Facebook? If you're selling a product, I buy stuff off Facebook all the time. Oh my gosh, they take my money, clothes, lipsticks, things like that, jewelry, and I don't mind. But in the government contracting space, your folks are on LinkedIn. They will Google you. They're going to look at your website. They're going to look at your capability statement. They're going to check you out on LinkedIn. So be ready. So again, in that grinding stage, in that first year or two, if you're not ready for government contracts by yourself, who can you work with? That's why I said don't have Yahoo, Gmail, or Google or Hotmail, because if you come to me and say, you know what, I want to work with you, I'm going to partner with you, I'm going to sub with you, I'm not going to take you seriously. But if you come to me with a professional website that you invested a little dollars in, you come to me with a capability statement, and you come with me with a win-win-win scenario. I win, you win, we win. Not, hey, this is what I do, what can you give to me? That's not how we both win. But hey, I've researched this opportunity, Montina. You run a marketing agency. The government's looking for some video production or some marketing, which they are a lot of the time. And I have one that someone sent me today. I kid you not. It's about, I think it says 4 million. And hey, I'd love to partner with you on this. Well, I'm going to respond to them and say, hey, if you want to submit it, I'll partner with you. I don't want to do the heavy lifting and the work. But maybe you see those opportunities and you're not ready, but you know, I'm a company that is, I have the bonding, I have that's the other thing. You have to have bonding. You guys have to have your insurances in place, all kind of things. Then partner with someone else. That is a great way to grow and scale your business. And it's one of the things I wish I would have done earlier in my business was partner with more people in business.
Okay, so thank you so much, Montina, for visiting the show today. You were able to drop so many jewels for my audience. I just want you to let everybody know where they can find you at. Tell them your YouTube page, your Instagram, your Facebook, however you want them to find you. How can they find you?
So you can find me through YouTube. My YouTube name is Spark Wisdom, and it's to help activate confidence and inspire wisdom. And on Instagram, if you just Google me, Montina Young or Montina Portis, I take up about 100 pages, and I actually have a free website that I'm sure Katrina will put here. It's dbeprogramsupport.com. So it's like Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And it literally is just educational content on how to choose the right certification, how to search for the opportunities, how to get ready with social media platforms to be on. So again, there's no secret to this. Like I said, there's no secret to success, but there's a blueprint. And with that blueprint, there are a lot of people out here making it look easy. And I have a problem with that because the people, many that are teaching this aren't doing this. So, or teaching it, at least make sure you sold something else and now you're doing it. So that's just happening to you. I know that you can do it. And again, just make sure that you understand that relationships matter. So wherever you're at in your life, you can't make it balanced, but you can make it harmonious. So again, thank you so much for having me, Katrina. Thank you so much for all that you're doing to educate the community, the Black community, minorities, women, entrepreneurs, because we can do this together and we need each other in this journey. So thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Awesome, awesome. And I thank you as well for taking time out for little old me today. You know, I mean, you didn't have to do this. You did not have to do this. I know you got to get back home, you know, but she was like, hey, I don't work after 5. I was like, oh, I want to get to that level. I ain't got to work.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah, it is definitely a choice. I choose to be, I'll be here till 11 o'clock sometimes in my office. You know, it is a choice though. You're right. You're right. Sometimes you got to shut down. But thank you so much once again.
You would not want to be in that office. You want to be home.
I know that's right. All right. Well, thank you again. And hopefully this won't be our last time speaking. Okay.
Well, let me know if you need anything.
All righty. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.